Hello there. A little bit of industrial noise in paradise here today, but we're just going to go with it. Um, so, this one is called Simple but Not Easy, because it's kind of where we are at the moment. It's been a hell of a week, of a month, of a year, of a decade, potentially. But anyone who's been paying attention has been feeling it, wanting to go into hermit mode, wanting to pull back, reassess, just wanting to simplify because it's just getting crazier and louder and all the stuff. And it seems like a lot of us are getting reminded constantly in this process that it is very, very simple, potentially not that easy, otherwise everyone would be doing it, I guess. But it is very simple. And so I just finished a cracker of a session with someone, and when she watches this video, she'll know who it is. But it's just been on the back of a handful of sessions that are just leaning into the heart space more and more and more and more. And we know Robinson Crusoe there talking about the path of the heart, and it's all in the heart, and that's where you need to go to fix everything. And like anyone who's been paying attention, we've been hearing that for a long time, and we've been doing the work, doing the stuff, getting in the heart, getting up to our elbows in the grease and our shoulders, our noses, sorting it out. So a really interesting message came through, because I'm not sharing any personal stuff here. I'm just, but as the session was happening, I was getting grabbed by the tail by this data, this information coming through saying this needs to go further. This applies wider, and it should be heard. And so part of that is that there's really like nothing to do in that heart space. Or to put it in a more Taoist way, there's stuff to do, but you won't be doing it. You don't do it. You get in the zone and you just be there, and it'll get done. And it might get done through you, and it'll look like you're doing it to anyone who was observing from outside, but you're not doing a damn thing. You just got to get in there. Not in with the pain, not in with the trauma, not in with all the blockages and the barriers and no, past all of that. We're not dealing with that. Deal with that tomorrow. You're just going to get in as far as you can, and just be there, and be calm, and be still, and be quiet. Be in that space, and it'll get done. You won't do a damn thing, but it'll get done through you, whatever needs to happen. And it was put beautifully. It came through beautifully in this session. The description, the words were, it's all in the heart. All of it. Everything that we think is outside around us. Like, we know we're in a holographic reality. Whether you think it's a simulation or not, that's up to you. Like, simulation just means copy. Simulacrum, there's all these different words people play around with. It just means copy. And, well, that would be true. If it was a holographic reality that was projected from the heart space, and I don't mean that the heart is projecting it necessarily, it's probably coming up and getting projected from the forehead, because that's how things work, which means it's going through the head space, and who knows what distortions it's picking up, coming through the throat, going up through the third eye, like, wow. Could be anything going on there if we're projecting it that way mentally. If we're mentally projecting what's in the heart, no wonder things look a bit skew with, yeah? So So what if it's all in the heart space? And what if the heart space is actually all there is? Like the void space is in the heart. Home is in the heart. What if it's all in there? Like I said a while ago, you are the stargate, you are the portal. What if the portal back home is in your heart? What if the portal to the void is in your heart? What if they're all in there, in that energetic region? I mean, we're being very loose with our descriptions here, because if all this is a holographic projection, then you are a holographic projection and there's nothing in your heart. Physically, it's a hologram. So we're talking generally here. But if it is all in there, then of course what we're seeing around us is a copy, because it is a projected holographic copy of the original, and the original is in the heart space. Or when you go into the heart space, you will go down through the same wormhole, stargate, portal, back to the original space. Now you know why emotions are always pinned on the heart. Pain, which leads to suffering potentially. The trauma, the grief, all of that stuff, the joy, the emotions are not heart-based. Emotions are in the solar plexus. They're from the will power. They're a driving force. Like emotions are solar plexus things, not heart. We're told they're the heart, and we're kind of like, we're gaslit into putting them in the heart. And so when we build all these walls around the heart to protect ourselves from the emotions, and so things can't get us, and we do all this stuff, we do all this mechanicking and tinkering around the heart space, leaving the solar plexus wide open, mind you, so we continue to get emotionally trashed through our solar plexus region. Meanwhile, we won't even connect with the heart, because we took all the hurt and the pain and the suffering and we piled it all up in the heart area, and we shut the door on it and built a big wall around it. So potentially the one place you need to go to get your shit together, you won't go because it hurts too much. That's a neat little sleight of hand, isn't it? And so can you get into that space? Can you bypass the walls? Can you bypass the pain and the suffering's there? You're not negating it. You're not saying it doesn't exist. You're just saying, well, I'm not here to deal with that today. I'm here to go in as far as I can. I'll come back in the afternoon and deal with some of the pain and the hurt. But that's not my deal right now. Right now my deal is getting in as far as I can, and then finding that dark spot, that void where there's nothing. It's just everything's there, but there's nothing there. Calm, quiet, peaceful, bliss. Can you access that? I would wager the easiest way to embody accessing that is through the heart, rather than trying to go out there somewhere to get it. And the way it came through the session to be described was that because it's all in the heart, it's like when you get in there and you see it through the lens of like highest, true love, that word that we don't have a word for in English, that we call capital L love, but we know what, I hope you know what I mean. I trust you know what I mean when I say that. I don't mean love. I mean that thing way, way beyond that. When you kind of look at it through that whole lens, the description was that the heart implodes. The heart will just draw in and 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 tighter and tighter. Doesn't that feel like February, January, December? It's been going for a while now. More pressure, more pressure, more pressure. Tighter, denser, and then you're going to hit this spot of implosion where it just goes. Kind of sounds like a love wave, doesn't it? Interesting. So what if you dialed your own heart experience in? What if you were in there, just being, not doing anything, You're just going to be in there in the space and see what comes up and just witness it. And it just keeps dialing down and down and down. It just implodes like suction in, whoosh, and then poof. But there's no that shockwave at the end of the implosion. There's no light. There's no noise. It's not an explosion like that. It's not a pulse out, because it's the end of the implosion. So it's like, and then, and that's very much how a lot of people have described this event that they've seen coming, they've dreamt about, they've had visions about. I'm included in that. It's this wave of bliss that just washes over everything, but it's not physical, it's not violent. There's no bells and whistles, there's no marching bands. It just hits. And it hits like a wave of water, in that it's coming at you and then you're in it. And once you're in it, there's no leaving it. You just got to sink or swim. Like breathe underwater or something else, I suppose. Because there you are. And what's interesting about how this came through as a something personal to do in the session, something personal that will be witnessed in the session, that you can kind of dial in and not speed up, but maybe instigate, show that you're ready for, and it will happen like for you personally. What's interesting about that is quite a few people have had the message that this flash, this wave, this event of love or bliss or whatever it is that comes through, it looks like it's external, like it's coming in, like our galactic whoever, the angel, the builders, the originals who created all of this. We're still talking this language, aren't we? They're waiting to push the button. They're waiting to give the signal to let the solar flare come through, the solar wave come through, the whatever. And now flip that, because everything out there is a holographic projection of what's in here, which is everything, because those portals are in here. So what that means is you are going to have a heart implosion, and it's going to feel like right before bliss, this wave goes out off you like a shock wave. And many people have had the message that it doesn't come from the outside in. We kick it off from our heart space. And when enough of us kick it off, the ripple builds up enough that suddenly this tidal wave starts, and it just rolls across the whole realm. And that fits very neatly with what just came through this last session. So it's just a game of what if. What if it was as simple as getting as far into your heart as you could, and then from there looking for the calm, quiet void space, and then sinking into that, and then just being there? And what if that was enough to instigate the change in your life and out around your life that you have been hoping, praying, waiting for, thinking would never come, all of the above? It doesn't mean necessarily that you are the architect of all things that have happened to you. What that means is you hold the keys. You are personally responsible because you hold the keys internally to how this can roll out. And it could be that simple, even if it's not easy. Okay, much love.